Abraham rose early in the morning with a weight pressing against his chest. And you stand here today feeling the pressure of decisions that stretch your faith to its limits. The mountain of Moriah waited in the distance like a silent witness, and your own challenges rise before you with a gravity that refuses to be ignored. God spoke the words, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love," and your heart trembles at the thought of surrendering what feels most precious. Nothing about Abraham's journey felt easy, and nothing about your current test feels simple. The tension is sharp. The path beneath Abraham's feet carried the sound of quiet obedience, and the path beneath your feet carries the sound of choices that require courage. Isaac walked beside his father with innocent trust, and parts of your life walk beside you, unaware of the weight you carry. The wood rested on Isaac's shoulders as they climbed, and responsibilities rest on your shoulders as you move through this season. Abraham's silence held a storm of emotion, and your silence holds questions you have not dared to speak aloud. The pressure builds. The altar waited at the top of the mountain with a stillness that felt unbearable, and your own moment of decision feels just as intense. Abraham lifted the knife with trembling hands, and your heart trembles as you consider what obedience might cost. The angel called out at the final moment with the words, "Do not lay a hand on the boy," and your spirit longs for God to speak into your situation with the same clarity. Abraham discovered that God provides in the place of surrender, and you long to discover that same truth in your own story. God sees. Movement 1. Modern internal lament. Some choices feel heavier than others, and the weight of this season presses against your ribs with relentless force. Certain responsibilities demand more strength than you expected, and the pressure to hold everything together drains your energy. Quiet moments reveal the fear beneath your determination, and the silence around you amplifies the questions you try to ignore. Long days stretch into nights filled with restless thoughts, and the uncertainty of what comes next unsettles your spirit. The heart trembles. Different situations pull you in opposite directions, and the tension between obedience and desire grows sharper with each passing day. Unexpected challenges rise without warning, and the effort to stay steady feels overwhelming. Familiar comforts no longer soothe your anxiety, and the path ahead feels clouded by doubt. Gentle attempts to reassure yourself fall short, and the ache of not knowing what God is doing grows stronger. The struggle deepens. Various responsibilities compete for your attention, and the fear of disappointing others weighs heavily on your mind. Certain dreams feel fragile in your hands, and the thought of losing them stirs a quiet panic. Moments of clarity fade quickly, and confusion settles in their place like a fog. Attempts to move forward feel slow and uncertain, and the pressure to make the right choice tightens your chest. The burden remains. Movement 2. The spiritual turning. Yet even here, God draws near with the same presence that met Abraham on the mountain, and his voice steadies the places where your courage falters. Nothing about your fear surprises him, and nothing about your hesitation pushes him away. Every step you take toward obedience is seen, and every breath you draw in uncertainty is held by his mercy. Every step you take toward obedience is seen, and every breath you draw in uncertainty is held by his mercy. Each moment of surrender is honored by his heart, and each sacrifice you consider is known by his wisdom. God is near. Grace moves toward you with unwavering strength, and grace reminds you that obedience is not carried alone. Hope rises in the cracks of your fear, and hope whispers that God is already preparing what you cannot see. Love surrounds the parts of you that feel fragile, and love steadies the trembling inside your chest. Peace settles over the storm of your thoughts, and peace reminds you that God is guiding your steps. Mercy remains. Strength grows in the places where you feel weakest, and strength carries you when your resolve begins to fade. Healing begins in the corners of your heart that fear surrender, and healing moves gently through the memories that shaped your hesitation. Comfort reaches into the tension you carry, and comfort restores what anxiety tried to steal. Assurance settles into your spirit with quiet authority, and assurance reminds you that God provides in the place of obedience. He is faithful. Light breaks through the shadows that cloud your decisions, and light reveals the path that once felt hidden. Purpose rises from the uncertainty that overwhelmed you, and purpose reminds you that God wastes nothing. Renewal touches the parts of you that felt stretched thin, and renewal brings clarity where confusion once lived. Restoration begins to unfold in ways you did not expect, and restoration proves that God is working even when you cannot see the outcome. You are not alone. Movement 3. The Restoration. Now let your heart rest in the truth that God provided a ram for Abraham. And let that same truth settle into your spirit with steady confidence. Now breathe deeply as the God who sees your sacrifice strengthens your resolve, and let His presence calm the places that feel overwhelmed. Now allow His voice to speak into the tension that frightens you, and let His words remind you that obedience leads to provision. Now trust that the God who met Abraham on the mountain will meet you in your moment of surrender, and let your soul lean into His faithfulness. Peace returns. Fresh courage rises as you release the fear that held you, and fresh strength grows as you step toward what God is asking. Gentle assurance fills the spaces where doubt once lived, and gentle mercy covers the wounds that shaped your hesitation. Quiet confidence begins to replace the trembling inside you. And quiet hope returns as you recognize God's hand guiding your path. Deep trust moves through the places that once resisted surrender, and deep peace settles into the core of who you are. God provides. New beginnings form where fear once stood, and new clarity rises where confusion once settled. Soft gratitude returns to the places that forgot how to rejoice, and soft joy grows as you see God's faithfulness unfold. Clear direction emerges from the tension that clouded your steps, and clear purpose guides you toward what comes next. Steady love surrounds you with a warmth that cannot be shaken, and steady grace carries you into a future shaped by obedience. God remains. May the God who met Abraham on the mountain strengthen your heart as you step into obedience.